This is Abhisheksengupta and welcome back. You are listening to abhisheksenguptaaudioblogs. Now we are here with another episode of Knowledge Talks. Now in this episode, we have with us Billy T. Now Billy right now is based out in Vietnam. He is the co-founder of revolutionize.com. He is the tech enthusiast and he uses generative AI and marketing to make a difference. Now, as Billy is here with us, we have picked up an amazing topic, AI and business. First and foremost, Billy, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about today's discussion.
Same here, Billy. Billy, I'm going straight to the topic. Now, my point number one is AI's impact on business efficiency. Now, AI is just not a significant force. It is one of the indispensable things which is going on in our life. Could you please help us to know how AI can streamline the processes, reduce operational costs, and improve overall efficiency in various industries and businesses? Over to you.
Yeah, sure. Essentially, just to give a little bit of background. So AI has been existing for a while. But the biggest difference is what we call today generative AI. So for example, when you go on Netflix and it recommends you, oh, you've been watching that show, so this is something similar, and you're more likely to like it. That's AI in itself. But what it does is the analysis part. What's new that we've seen with the launch of ChatGPT and OpenAI is that the capability to actually take the information and generate new information. And that's what we call generative AI. And so some of the case studies, for example, you have companies like Zapier, which allows you to essentially schedule your task and have it do it for you. So say you get a message on your social media, you can get it to essentially go directly into the CRM and the CRM to send an email. That's business efficiency because of the new AI that we have today. I'm super excited about what we're seeing because we just started, literally. It's just been, OpenAI launched ChatGPT in November of last year. So it's just within that short period of time, we've seen massive growth. So I'm excited.
Billy, that's pretty interesting. You have rightly mentioned that AI has been there for some time, and the generative AI, which you have really mentioned, can be a change force, I will say, and bring a revolution. I always say that, whatever we are seeing in the world of AI is just the tip of an iceberg. An entire iceberg still needs to be discovered because that's how we are into. Now, generative AI and all those things have got amazing force which can really streamline the various processes of business, especially the processes and anything which goes on in a repetitive manner. For example, we can give a prompt. Now, prompting is very important in AI. Now we have come up with another I must say it's a field of study that is called prompt engineering. How you generate the prompt, AI will deliver like that. So that is important. So most of the processes, what we have seen or what the study shows, will become prompt generated, and then this will take off a lot of repetitive work from the human workforce, and this will also help the human to get free for better work, higher intellectual work, and lot of brain related work or which requires a lot of thinking. So that kind of freeness will be there, but at the same time it will also increase efficiency, reduce error as well. So some of the very good pointers which we got from you. Now this takes us.
If I can add some points about what you just mentioned, you're completely right. At the same time, when you mentioned the fact that it's when you're doing the same task over and over again, yes, and AI can do that. And what we're seeing now is that it can do more. It can start doing things that you didn't ask it to do. So for example, an AI learn by itself to speak a new language within milliseconds, just by putting so if you use any chatbots and you write to them in let's say I'm French, so if I write to it in French, it will answer to me in French. Now, originally, when the AI was put into online, they didn't train it for it. It's just a vast amount of information it taught itself to learn. And when you're talking about business efficiency, now there's we're seeing massive cases, not just automation, but going beyond the automation, when it's actually doing part of the analysis for you. And because the AI has so much more information, and I like to call it a hyper-rational actor. It's completely mathematical. There's no emotions involved. And that's how we can provide you the best quality analysis. So in terms of efficiency.
Wonderful. Rightly mentioned that it provides you a lot of information with higher efficiency because you have rightly said that it is rational, hyper-rational. You have just mentioned, and it is completely algorithm based, and with the algorithm is put, accordingly we will get the results. Now this is taking me to the point number 2, that is AI powered decision making. Now could you please explain how AI tools such as predictive analysis, machine learning algorithms are helping businesses to make more informed and data driven decisions? Now, this could be a little complicated, but I'm sure this is one of the things which all the businesses are looking for. Over to you.
Yeah, of course. There's a case study that was from McKinsey, where they talked about how banks are using customer service information in order to tailor or target the response to their users. Those kind of business decision making used to be done manually. Now, this was incredibly time consuming because what makes a difference between a good analyst and a not so good analyst is the capability to foresee a trend. It's connecting the dots together. But with AI, now the dots are being done almost automatically, instantaneously, which allows for much more accurate decisions and information. And so when you scale this globally, because that's what we're saying, then the society or and businesses are going to get better. Because now you actually can understand your audience, understand their pain points, and then bring to them how your solution fits their problem. And this kind of analysis used to take weeks and weeks with a big team of people. For example, in marketing, when you're building your own marketing strategy, you need to understand who's your audience, what's their pain point, what age, or where do they live. You need to know what's the current marketing trends, the industry trends. You need to check out what your competitors are doing, what works and what doesn't work. And once you have this information, you need to bring it together into a marketing strategy. So a marketing campaign and then content schedule. With AI, this used to take maybe 5 weeks. And with AI, we can do it in minutes, allowing us to make decisions a lot faster because the analysis, the research is done automatically. Of course, you do need the human aspect, which is the AI is hyper-rational. Us as human, we have the capability to still make editing choices, provide some insights that forcibly the AI doesn't have. Because when business is done at a human to human capacity. So you having the information is amazing, but you still don't know to how you're going to deliver it. How are you going to essentially connect with the other person? Because business, it's all about people. Your product can be amazing, your product can be awful, but if you don't know how to talk to people, it'll be incredibly challenging.
You have wonderfully explained that, definitely rational and hyper-rational, that part is definitely there. But at the same time, you have rightly taken a point which I really like, is a human connection, human touch which is required. Because the way you want the AI to perform, it depends on human. whether you want the AI to perform in a formal way, in a authoritative way, or even in a courteous way, because of that is something is important. Because you can have a wonderful product, as you have rightly mentioned, you can have an awful product, but how you are presenting that product in front of a customer, that's what is the show of human touch. Now, products can be made by even AI. AI makes some amazing digital products. Because we have seen in Canva and we have seen in other platforms how AI makes product, but the way it is projected, that is all the human. Many a times we have seen, even the finest product do not move in the market because customers could not connect. It is not given a human touch. How a human can really connect with that product, that is important. Now, putting this concept to the decision making, definitely a large aspect of algorithmic analysis or the data set analysis that be done by AI, but the presentation of that data set for a specific problem or in front of a problem so that they can take what we call as informed decision. The person is informed about the thing. It's not a random decision. That's a difference. Informed decision and a random decision. So this helps a person to take informed decision. So this facilitates AI, right usage of AI or right data set analysis helps a business founder or a business to take informed decision. So this is all I may say a step forward for informed decision making. Now, predictive analysis is another important by analyzing the past data, we can predict how the future trends can come across, how the future customer behavior can be, how the future demand cycle may be. So that's something which the AI is giving, and this the decision making or the decision making authorities, or most of them might be startup founders, business founders, or senior management, the what we call as informed decisions. So that's what is the power of AI. It's nicely explained by Billy. Now, this is taking us to the next point, that is AI and innovation. Now, you as an expert, could you please highlight how AI is driving innovation in product development, market research, business model across various industries and businesses? Over to you.
Sure. So the way the mind works, when we're creating a solution, when we're looking to create a new piece of art, for example, we're always looking at historical data, because that's what inspires us. And inspiration can be everywhere. For an artist, for example, you look at a random dish, but that inspires you to make a new dish from that. So what I'm trying to say here is that with AI having so much information, providing quality information, that's another topic that I think we can elaborate next, but it allows you to get to your end thought faster. It allows you to essentially create new things a lot faster. I mean, like one of the driving force of AI and innovation today are startups. Startups are coming up with amazing ways to essentially implement generative AI. And I'm very excited about that because you see a lot of different mentalities where thought cultural aspect being done locally, but if it's solving a problem that's internationally, they can make it incredibly big. And so from that aspect, when you're looking at innovation, let's say market research, right? If you understand the pain point of your industry, you can, having that information a lot faster, allows you to essentially start making something, your first action. Obviously, the AI can be of support. You can chat with it, you can create your own advisory bot, and which will provide all that knowledge. But on top of that knowledge, it can personalize it. That's what is incredibly unique. So whatever industry you're in right now, we're seeing massive development in new tools, new features. And actually, just for the biggest example is, why did OpenAI put ChatGPT for free? Well, because they wanted to know how people are going to use it. And what do we see often after between ChatGPT 2 to all the way to 4 and soon 5 is essentially a lot of the tech that was built from those platforms are being included into ChatGPT's capabilities. That's the main reason he wanted to have the information, the data of use cases, and then build from it.
So that's really wonderful. You have rightly mentioned, the different versions of ChatGPT, because with every version there is an innovation. That's what was the core, idea, I would say. Because still now, because when I use ChatGPT quite frequently, so there are two versions which I can see. One is the free version, that is ChatGPT 3.5, and then there's the ChatGPT the paid version. I think it's 4, which is going on at this point of time. And 5 is there, is at the pipeline. So the basic difference between is that every time, because it's an improved product, why do you require an improved product? Because market would like to get the new solution of the persisting problem. Now here AI can be of great help. So that's why different versions of AI are coming, different version of even the Google is coming up with Gemini. Now Gemini is coming up with a lot of challenges, because every platform, even Microsoft is coming and all there. Now, why do you require that? Even every aspect of business, every aspect of even content creation require the AI and the innovative method, because the way we are editing videos today is not something which the video editors used to do 10 years back. No, there are a lot of innovative products which are going on, and the people who will edit the videos after 10 years will use a different kind of technology. That's the innovation. With every passing day, we have to better our solution. We have to present a better solution which can give a better I must say better solution to the existing problem, because market is always ready to grab something new and which can save their labor, which can save time, and with a higher efficiency. Now, innovation has got the real purpose of innovation is to increase efficiency, number one, and number two is to offer a better solution. And of course, time consuming are all the pies, is the side effects, I must say, of this. Now, AI has got so much power that it can really facilitate innovation in a great way. So some of the wonderful points which I got from you, Billy. Now, going to the next point, ethical considerations. Now, this is an ongoing topic. Now, will it be possible to address the ethical implications of AI in business? This may include issues related to bias, privacy, and transparency. Now, also, it will affect the decision making in some way or other. Over to you.
Sure. In terms of ethics, the AI is a very simple algorithm where you ask it to identify. For example, if I ask it to tell me that this is a phone, I need to show 1 million pictures of a phone in different angles, and then when the next time I show it, the AI is going to know it's a phone. So essentially, the AI is only as good as the data that you have, and how do you train it, and how do you train to analyze it. For ethics, essentially, the AI is only as good as the data. So you have a case study recently of Gemini, Google, where it showed images of historical figures in inaccurate skin colors. And ironically, this result came out because Google was trying to prevent that. So you can put as much data, you can put all the training, you can tell it how would it like the type of response you want. But understanding how an AI makes a decision is still some kind of mysterious to everyone, because there's so much information that's way beyond our capabilities. And the way it's going to think, we're still not sure. That's why this tremendous amount of testing. In supplement to that, before Google came out with before Microsoft came out with Bing, and as well as Google came out with Bard, essentially they had the data and they were just spending a lot of time to test its limits. The reason why you're testing its limits, it's because you want to know as many use cases as you can in order to prevent, for example, malicious results that would help people who are negative actors. And so you need to put barriers. And so that's actually one of the biggest challenge that we see of people like you and I trying to use AI. When you're chatting to a bot, there are loads of restrictions that we don't know, that companies are going to tell us for very good reason. And so when that's why you get results like, this is a sensitive topic and I can't say anything about it, or I don't have enough, I don't have the information, I'm just not trained for that. Those are pre-made responses of asking questions that seems to be inappropriate. And so that's why all those restrictions are in place. So as a consequence, now the highest paying job in the world is what you've mentioned before, is being a prompt engineer or an engineer who can talk to the AI. Because knowing how to talk to an AI is becoming one of the most valuable skills for today's society, as it's only going to get more intense and more entrenched into our everyday life. I think the salary is like 30,000 USD per month. So it's not too shabby, right? And going back to ethics, my first AI company was actually against fake news. So essentially and that was back in 2019. I've licensed the software since then. However, what the technology allowed us to do is that what we identify is that fake news is very constant, meaning that we're using the same message, but spreading it very quickly to as many people as possible. And the answer to it is psychological, because fake news is meant to promote an emotional response that will lead to an action. So one of the biggest consideration that we can see is how is generative AI, fake voices, images, and videos are going to be used for nefarious purposes. Now, why is it so important today, this year, actually? It's because this year we have half of the world population going to the ballots. And so therefore, this new technology is likely to be utilized for negative purposes, to influence people. And we've seen work. I mean, we had the 2016 election, where essentially using big data, in the case of Facebook, you could influence how people thought. And that's one of the big danger of generative AI and how it's going to be used this year. And there are a lot of organizations. Adobe has built an association called C2PA, which essentially aims to provide a provenance mechanism to help with images and content. And that's a fantastic start, and that's what we need. That's what the way that we can counter misuse of generative AI is really having education, having the sensibility of understanding what could be AI and how to do once you have a new piece of information. That's for the specific case of misinformation. If I can also discuss the point of biases. I mean, it was slightly elaborated with the Google example. Biases is just based on the data that you're feeding it. So the more, if you're feeding the AI just one source, it'll be incredibly biased. That would be the same for any person. So the AI just is similar to an individual, but the amount of information that you can put into that individual is much greater. And so that's why I mean, you have OpenAI crawling information all around the internet in order to gather as much information to provide the best AI. Do you have any other specific questions about ethics?
Well, perfectly all right. It's wonderfully explained. You have rightly mentioned how this, ethical implications actually will come and what will be the implication. You have rightly mentioned that almost half of the world's population will go for a vote this year, including India. Of course, Russia is going for a vote, India is going for a vote, and a lot of Asian, European, and other countries are going for a vote. So you have rightly mentioned that how Facebook's generative AI can put an impact. It's not only impact in the general, I must say it's not an impact on the general elections. It will also have an impact on the general life businesses across the globe. Now, the right way to explain it, I must say, the ethical considerations will be there. It's just like any other technology. No technology in this world is 100%, on the positive side. Of course, you will have positive and negative sides both. Even in science, let that be nuclear energy, let that be the electrical energy, let that be whatever. Even the recyclable energy also have, but even electrical cars are also having its the other side. The disadvantages are definitely there. Sooner or later that people come to know that. Now, same goes for AI. AI we take it as a technology which can enhance our work. That's point number one. But at the same time, we will also have the consideration which will be negative, number one, which will impact the negative. So we as a user, we as a common man, we have to understand how these ethical complications or how these challenges, I must say, it's more or less of challenges which you have rightly mentioned that how this kind of challenges could be dealt with. Now, ethical considerations will be there. Definitely, it will have its negative impact. Many are raising the flags about it will also take up a lot of jobs. But the private side of it is that it will also create a lot of jobs. Now, prompt engineering, that's what you have rightly mentioned. One of the, it's a very high-paid job which is coming up nowadays. It's the prompt engineering. Even you said that at times, the factories will run on instead of running on the manual gears, the factories will keep on running in future with prompt. The way you are prompting, the machines will deliver like that. So that's what. So I must say that ethical considerations are there, really there. But that is how we are into that. We have to live through that. That's how we have to carry on with it. Now, this is bringing us to the end of our talk show. Some of the wonderful pointers and amazing discussion we had. Any quick closing remarks would you like to put?
Yeah, what I'm excited essentially for AI, the way that it's having direct impact right now in businesses globally. I think that one of the biggest challenge that we're looking at is the implementation, meaning being accepted by society. And that's because as the technology grows incredibly quickly, if society doesn't catch up to it, meaning be getting used to it, knowing how to start using and talk to an AI, knowing how to utilize, for example, the efficiency tools like Zapier or performing market research, you will be left out. You'll be left out. And so there is this need for education. And education comes at the people's perceptions that it can be. I think parts of it is that people are scared of the AI revolution. I was recently at a roundtable with big law firms, financial institutions, and a lot of those people were talking like, "Oh, AI it's not going to take our jobs." I was like, AI is not going to take your job because obviously the human approach is paramount. But at the same time, you not using AI is like you're restraining your capability. It's like when the car came out and people that were still riding horses, and the person who drove the car went a lot faster. And so the goal is really like not being adapted, being open-minded. being open-minded of what it can bring to you. And if you don't like it, completely fine. But it's here to stay, unfortunately. So we have to get used to it as a society, as people, as businesses. We have to start implementing it. For us, just to give you an example, we are a personal marketing assistant software, and we're currently in 20 countries. And what we found is essentially just like people are very keen on what the benefits are, which is essentially because the analysis that the AI can do can provide you more details about the pain points, and then you can generate the content directly for that audience. And what it does is that it provides deep insight that you wouldn't have necessarily gotten access because of the lack of expertise in marketing. And so when we're providing that information, it's still about you have the information and then it's the implementation. So all of this great technology is there to support you. And so I'm incredibly hopeful for what the future is in terms of having access to this new knowledge and seeing all those great young companies coming around the world trying to help implement it into everyday society, trying to improve how our current state is. I mean, in a post-COVID economy, it's pretty challenging for almost every SMEs or agencies that I know around. And so everyone's looking for how can we find ways to be more efficient with our resources, and how can we be more time efficient. And I think for what the technology is allowing to do right now, it's the capability to have the information and make informed decision, just like you mentioned. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
Wonderful. It was wonderfully explained. A lot of good takeaways. Now, this brings us to the Inbound Talk Show. And if any of you would like to connect with Billy, I will give his Twitter handle in the description of this episode, using which you can connect with him. And that's how we got connected, and we are recording this wonderful episode. Now, to my podcast listeners, I request for a review. I want an honest review how my podcast is helping you and enhancing your life. I'll be back with many such episodes. Till then, stay tuned, stay connected. Have a great day. Thank you once again, Billy, for the part of this show.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure.